In part 1 of this topic, we used financial functions to calculate the payment due on a loan. We also calculated the total cost of the loan as far as interest was concerned over time. In this video, we want to explore how we can create an amortization schedule to show how our payments are affecting the balance, as well as what's being applied to principal and what to interest for each payment. We also want to share our workbook so that multiple people can view it at the same time, and if someone makes changes, those changes will be tracked. In advanced Excel classes, or the ones specifically for finance, I usually force my students to completely create an amortization schedule by hand, because it utilizes so many critical skills that they need to review. We've already reviewed some of these skills, including the use of absolute referencing. So what I'd like to do is remind you that there are many very useful and time-saving templates that can be found at office.com. And you know what? It's okay to use them. It's all about saving time if it gives you what you need. So we'll go ahead and move up to the Backstage by clicking on the File tab and selecting the new category. We're going to go ahead and do a search for loan amortization. There are a ton of templates that can be used for this. We're simply going to choose the first one, which is a basic amortization schedule. We'll click on it once, and then click or tap Create, and wait for it to do its thing. This is a pretty in-depth template, so it may take a second or two depending on your internet connection. Here it is, and it may not be so impressive at first, but wait till you see what it does with just a few entries. We're going to put in the values for our loan. We've decided that we're probably going to go with option B, which means our loan amount is $45,500. Our annual interest rate is 3.4%, which we could type in as 3.4 followed by the percent sign, or using the decimal value of 0.034. The loan period in years is 5. And the number of payments we're going to make is just a simple monthly payment, which would be 12. Lastly, we'll put in the start date of the loan, and we'll just pick June 1st of 2014 as a good start date. Now watch this. With one press of the Enter key, bam, everything is done for us. We didn't have to divide and multiply by 12, figure out any arguments or anything. It's just all here. On the right-hand side, it talks about our scheduled payments, how many there are, and how much they'll be. Down below is the amortization schedule that we were looking for. This includes which payment we're making, the date the payment is due on, the beginning balance, the scheduled payment, any extra payments if we're going to make any, the total payment, and how much goes to principal, interest, as well as the ending balance and the cumulative interest. I don't know about you, but to me that's an awful lot of really good information by simply going and pulling something off of the website. Don't forget, I'm always for knowing how to do things by ourselves in Excel, but I'm also about being efficient, and for things like amortization schedules, using a template is by far the fastest, easiest way to get the answers we need. The only issue we want to resolve is the fact that this was created as a new workbook, and we actually want to see it along with our other worksheet in the old workbook. No worries though, we can actually do this with just a couple of clicks. If we move down to the Worksheet tab at the bottom of the worksheet window and give it a right click, we can choose Move or Copy. We don't want to keep it in the current workbook. We want to move it to the one that we have open, which is called loans.xlsx. We'll move it to the end, and we'll click or tap OK. That immediately closes down that old file because that's the only worksheet that was in it, and the file had not been saved yet. And you can see that we now have both of our worksheets, the amortization schedule, as well as our vehicle purchase worksheet, together in one place. So now we have all the heavy lifting done as it relates to finding out what we want to know in order to make a good business decision for the loan. What we need to do now is make sure that we can share this information and that the multiple people who want to look at this aren't going to get stymied by trying to open the file and having Excel say, sorry, already opened and locked by somebody else. Well, this is actually a fairly easy process that's often overlooked by a lot of Excel users. Excel has an option called Share Workbook. It can be found under the Review tab. If we click or tap Share Workbook, it opens a simple window with a couple of different tabs. First, we have to say that it is okay to allow changes by more than one person at the same time. If multiple people already had it open, they would be listed in the bottom of the window. From the Advanced tab, what we can also do is decide if we want to keep track of changes, if or so, how long, and what to do if two people try to make changes at the same time. We're going to update changes every time the file is saved, and we're going to say that if there are conflicts, go ahead and ask which one should be saved. We'll click or tap OK. The workbook has to be saved, so we'll say OK. And that's it. We don't really see anything different on screen, but it's now possible for multiple people to access the workbook and to edit it at the same time, which can be really nice in a business environment, especially when everybody's trying to do something at the end of the last business day of the month. We should feel good about what we've produced. Good information is what is required to make good decisions. How many times have you heard someone defend their decisions because they say they didn't know something or that it was inaccurate? We do not want to be one of those people. When it comes to working with money, including the occasional need to take out a loan, the best thing we can do is gather the facts, including any options we may have, and carefully analyze all aspects of them. This goes beyond just what the payments will be and extends to the actual real total cost of the loan over time, as well as the effects it may have on our cash reserves, like with various down payments. We often need to share information like this with others, so we can have the input in making the best decisions possible. Fortunately, Excel is packed with functions, templates, and tools to help us plan for and track our finances, including business loans.